In this video, I'm counting down my top 10 trucks of 2024. The last 12 months were an awesome time to be an RC enthusiast. We saw great new releases from heavy hitters and some underdogs from some lesser known companies. All of them noteworthy to make it to the top 10 list. Before we get into it, I do want to give a huge shout out to you guys, the subscribers. We had a tremendous year of growth with the channel and I sincerely appreciate it. None of this would be possible without you guys' support and I truly thank you all. And if you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing because 2025 is going to be another banging year and I can't wait to share it with you guys. Now, let's kick this off with build number 10. Coming in at number 10 on the list is the rusty old Fury Wagon. Now this is built around the FuryTech Fury Wagon FX 118. This is an RTR that was released in 2023, but I built this out in the spring of 2024, put the Vicious RC body on it, had it custom painted with this rusted livery, did a bunch of brass, all the FuryTech upgrades with the linkage and everything. The whole combination gave this thing a great look. It's one of my favorite builds from an aesthetic standpoint because it just is so different from a lot of the other builds that I've done. Now, this was a pretty close one between this and the Katana. Both of these are great RTRs and fantastic byproducts of the partnership between FuryTech and Hobby Plus. We got several new releases under this partnership. These are two of my absolute favorites, but this partnership was a great combo in 2024. Love the Katana, but ultimately had to give it to the old rust bucket here just on the grounds that it's so unique compared to my other builds. Number 9 is the Atlan Design Group Ram 3500 dually kit for the SCX24. Now Axel had this as number 1 on his because he absolutely adores this truck. This kit from Atlan is very cool. It takes a Big Country Toys Ram 3500 dually body, converts it onto an SCX24 platform, and does so seamlessly and gives you 3 different options in the bed. Here we have the stock bed on it because it has the gooseneck hitch. Axel's been hauling around his Big Country Toys trailer with it. Absolutely loves it. Axel takes this thing everywhere and he hauls stuff it should not be hauling, but it just keeps on going and it looks so good doing it. This kit's a little on the pricey side, but the finished product is excellent and it makes the conversion very, very simple, especially for someone who's not super inclined to do this yourself, like me. This was a great project. Because it looks so good and it's fully functional and Axel absolutely adores it, this definitely earned a spot in the top 10. Coming in at number 8 is the Hobby Plus CR18P 6x6 hauler. This was a new release that came out in the spring of 2024 and completely caught me off guard. Caught me off guard because I was not expecting Hobby Plus to release a CR18P 6x6, but mostly caught me off guard because of how good this thing is. The construction of this with the nylon flatbed, configurable wheel chocks, working winch with variable speed, multifunctional light kit, and all the CR18P features that we're used to from the crawlers like the portal axles and the 2-speed transmission. The whole combination just works so well and it looks so cool. This was one of the trucks that I had the most fun with out of the box. Haven't touched it as far as modifications go. We use it all the time and still just have a blast with it. It was a great year for Hobby Plus, and this is just one of the many models that they cranked out, but this one in particular stood out to me just because of the outrageous fun factor. Coming in at number 7 is the Mias Racing MB24. Now this is a kit that converts your SCX24 into this Ultra 4 looking truck, and it does so oh so well, and at a price point sub $40, complete makeover of the SCX24, both from a performance and aesthetic standpoint. You get carbon fiber rails with lots of shock options so you can tune your ride height. You get this great hard body that comes in 2 different colors, more now, and plus a white one that you can paint and customize like we did to this one. The MB24 kit was one of my highest viewed videos on the channel in 2024, and it's easy to see why. When this thing came out, I think it caught a lot of people off guard, myself included, at what you get for the cost. Mias Racing did a great job with this kit. They eventually released it in a larger scale for the MB18, which I almost put on here as well, but figured I could cover them both in this one segment. Mias Racing put out a number of great products in 2024, but the MB24 kit really stands out to me because it was such a good kit for the SCX24. I built 3 different iterations of this, one for me, one for Axel, and then I did a budget build, which is what you see here. I also may be slightly biased on this one because they also incorporated my logo into the livery on it. Coming in at number 6 is the SCX24 Power Wagon. Now I've had the Power Wagon for a while, but I didn't really sink my teeth into it until about halfway through the year. I love the orange paint on this thing and the styling that Axial did with it. But what really bumped this thing up the list and made it stand out to me was the addition of the Little Guy Racing Parts Eliminator chassis kit that we just did recently. But it was a game changer for this truck, both visually and performance-wise. With the addition of this chassis kit, it slams the Power Wagon down, trimming the fenders to get the tires and everything to fit, give this thing a completely new aesthetic. It looks super gnarly, and you combine that with the performance that you get with the kit, the chassis kit, and the extra add-ons that we did, which is the brushless motor. We did the Super 8 axles. It has the V2 prototype Super 8 axles on it right now. The new 1552 wheels from Little Guy Racing Parts. And the awesome Black Label tires. The whole thing puts out performance that is on par with how good it looks, which is pretty impressive. So the Power Wagon, which was one of my favorites to begin with, really shot up the list and solidified itself in the top 10 with its newest round of upgrades. Coming into the top 5, number 5 here is the Vanquish H10 Optic. This was a great new release from Vanquish Products in 2024. It gave us this excellent looking buggy built around these awesome new H10 straight axles. These give the Optic a great scale look, but they're also super functional, super beefy axles. The molded cage and the way this thing is built, it is so rigid. And with the VRD transmission that sets the motor so down low in the chassis, this thing performs incredibly well out of the box. Now I did do some modifications to this one here. I did the Freaky Skins livery on it, the Method wheels, wrapped them in the Proline Trepador tires. I've got a bunch of brass up front. It's got a Fusion brushless motor in it. So the combination is absolutely deadly. This is one of my favorite rigs, both from a scale appearance and performance standpoint, because it does everything well. Later in the year, Vanquish released this as a kit, which lets you get into this thing, build it how you want at a significantly lower price. But these things have held up great. Don't expect anything less from Vanquish. These things are tough, rugged, and functional. A lot of fun with the H10 Optic this year. And at number 4 is the FMS FCX10. 2024 was a bang-up year from FMS. They released a number of different models in different scales. They had the FCX24M, new models of the FCX18, and then the FCX10, which came out early in the year. Now this was not like the previous 10 scale models that FMS has released. They really went back to the drawing board and came out swinging with the FCX10. This thing is built with great features, metal geared portal axles, we've got dig, we've got a 2-speed transmission, locking and unlocking differentials, super smooth ESC and power delivery with this truck, plus great scale details with the officially licensed Chevy body. Also came out with some great accessories with it down the line. We got an interior, we got some Batrazi upgrades here, but this truck works so well. I really like this truck. Super surprised with how well it performed out of the box. Done some upgrades to mine, as you can see. It's got the Batrazi wheels and tires. Like I said, I did put some brass in it. Still running the stock powertrain, but even in stock trim right out of the box, this thing is very impressive. FMS also released a second model in the FCX10 platform, which is the Toyota Land Cruiser here. Like the Blazer, features a Lexan body complemented with these molded details. I like the additional scale features that they did on the Land Cruiser, and I really like that they kind of toned down the extra features, gave it straight axles. It's just got the 2-speed transmission, no dig or locking diffs or anything like that. More minimalistic. I do, however, prefer the styling of the Blazer. I think the Land Cruiser is a little derpy looking. The Blazer has that timeless square body Chevy that always looks good. Fun fact about this truck, I actually sold my first FCX10 Blazer trying to clear out space, and I instantly regret it. When you talk about seller's remorse, it was like punch me right in the stomach right away. So I had to get another one, and I'm glad I did, because we had so much fun with these, Axel driving the Land Cruiser and me with the Blazer out on the scale trails at events like Farm Fest this year. Just looks great. So much fun to drive. Great truck. Definitely deserving of a top 5 spot. Coming into the top 3, number 3 2024 was the Texoma Slayer Pro. Now if you watch my recap video from 2023, my favorite build of last year was the Texoma Slayer. This year we got to do a new Slayer on the new platform that Josh released, the Slayer Pro. Josh continues to up the ante with his combination of artistic license and functionality. Nobody builds the way Josh does. I mean, these things look like Venom from Spider-Man enveloped in SCX24, and this is what you get. It's like a symbiote SCX24. The styling on these is so unique, and the way he approaches his builds, and it's just dripping with passion. When you can almost feel the love in these rigs and the effort and the blood, sweat, and tears that Josh has put into designing and building these things. The Slayers evolve so quickly, it's almost hard to keep up with. He's already got several new iterations at the time of this recording. I'm hoping to get my hands on one of his newest ones. But this one that we built early in the year is such a great performer. And with the neon green and the black, combine that with the Mias isokinetic axles, I mean, this thing looks fantastic. And the performance that it puts out is just outrageous. So the Slayer continues to find itself in the top 3 for another year. I'm excited to see what Josh is up to in 2025. We'll definitely have some more Slayers on the channel in the future. Rip till you flip. Number 2, coming in at number 2 is the Red Cat Ascent 18. Now, I don't know what happened over at Red Cat in 2024, but they just released banger after banger after banger. They did large-scale bashers, lowriders, haulers, and a couple of super sweet crawlers, the Ascent 18 included. So early in 2024, when Red Cat released this thing at the introductory price of $99, I think it turned the mini crawler market on its head. The performance that this thing put out and the features that it has, like the metal geared portal axles, big sticky tires from the factory, the minimalistic clean Lexan body and the bright colors, boat sliders on it, the whole combination just worked extremely well. For a first offering in the mini crawler market, I think Red Cat hit it out of the park with the Ascent 18. Now, it wasn't without its flaws. The lower links were a weak point and would break. That servo on axle up front would strip out pretty easy. But thankfully, Red Cat did release accessories along with the truck, and it took no time for the aftermarket to completely catch fire for the Ascent 18. And when they did, when you start upgrading the Ascent 18, the performance that you can get out of this truck is next level. This thing for the money is one of the best bargains of 2024. I dare say one of the best performing RTRs for the money that we've ever seen in the mini crawler form. This is also going to be great for beginners and builders alike. At $99 and now the full retail price of $120, it's going to be a great gateway drug for folks to try out the mini crawlers and then build it as you see fit. We built several iterations of the Ascent 18 throughout the year, including one of my all-time favorite builds right here, rocking the Endura IR60 hardbody kit on it. And we even got a second version of the Ascent 18, the International Scout 2, later in the year. Now the Scout 2 is going to give you a longer chassis rail to fit this more scale body on it. So you've got some options in the Ascent lineup now if you want to go with the more minimalistic, performance-focused pickup truck style, or if you want the longer, more scale and trail look of the Scout 2. But the Scout, even with its larger body, is deceptively good. So Red Cat just did such a phenomenal job with the Ascent 18, and this to me was a standout release of 2024. And that brings us to number 1. My number 1 truck of 2024 is the Red Cat Ascent Fusion. 2024, in my opinion, was the year of Red Cat. Like I said before, they released just a string of great new releases. In 2023, we had the Ascent, which is a performance-focused RTR 10th scale crawler. But in 2024, we got the upgraded version, the Ascent Fusion that you see here. Now the Fusion integrated a lot of what Red Cat's customers were doing with aftermarket and pure ingenuity and put it right in this thing from the factory. That includes brass upgrades up front, heavy portal covers. We've got a Fusion 2-in-1 brushless motor system. We've got modified shocks, carbon fiber frame rails, and they chop the back of it off. Now this thing out of the box performs shockingly well. For the price point that you can get this thing at, the performance that it puts out is absolutely mind-blowing. I haven't done much to mine. I did upgrade the steering servo and I put new wheels and tires on it with these Endura Comp Pin tires, which up the ante even more. But out of the box, this thing just crushes lines, and it was at our favorite crawl and spot, Crawler Heaven. The lines that this thing is able to hit was on par with my SCX-10 Pro, my fully built Pro, and this thing was able to hang, if not beat it, in many scenarios. Now, I think the styling of this truck may be a bit polarizing. I think you're either going to love it or hate it. I really like what Red Cat did with the all black and red theme on it. It has just such a menacing look to it, and the attention to detail that they put into it to maintain that aesthetic. Carbon fiber frame, the black cross member here, and the anodized trim. Every single component on it is black or red, and the combination just looks super menacing. And then you fire it up and the thing has the performance to back it up and then some. So the Ascent Fusion to me is one of those trucks that just never lets me down. It's fallen off of cliffs, rolled down hills, left out in the rain. The thing is just super tough, and I just cannot get over the performance that you get out of this thing. So if you're looking for a budget comp style crawler, something that's going to really blow your head off with performance and not spend a ton of money, this is it right here. Every time I take this truck out, it surprises me in what it can do. And that's why I keep coming back to it. And that's why it is #1 on my list for 2024. It completely shocked me at how capable it was out of the box. And I love to see a company doing things like this, like Red Cat is doing, releasing these super functional, great performing trucks at affordable prices so that people can get into the hobby, get great rigs like this that are tough, reliable, and great performers. It's going to keep them in the hobby longer, and it's just going to grow the community. So I love what Red Cat did in 2024, and I think this was an absolute home run with the Ascent Fusion. All right, guys, that was it. That was my top 10 trucks of 2024. What'd you guys think of my list? Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with my picks. Just want to say again, I sincerely appreciate all of you again. For everyone who watched even a minute of our videos, thank you so much. It really means the world to us. Like I said before, none of this would be possible without you guys. Axel and I have big plans for 2025. It's going to be another great year in the hobby, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. But that's a wrap for 2024. Wishing you all a happy new year. Keep the rubber side down, and we'll see you in the next video.